Hey, the Giants seem like they've been treading water in the National West all season. They got a record of 35-37 and are 4.5 games behind Arizona in the National West. They are 7.5 out of a wild card berth. We go right to Marty Lurie at baseball. Marty knows all things Giants, and I'm trying to be positive here. 20 of the next 26 at home. Fair to say, this is it?
Well, it's part of it. There's 51 more at home, Vern. 51. There's 90 games to go. They've got 51 of them at home. So I think the worst part of the season, the toughest part is over. And they've weathered the storm. They're coming home to play. And they've got 20 of the next 26 at home. But I think over this next 26, we're going to see something about this ball club, pitching-wise, bullpen-wise, and how they're going to deal with Longoria being out. But keep in mind, 51 games at home, they're 19-11 at home. So I think we got a long way to go.
Yeah, this is the time for them to shine. And let's just bring up the pitching. I mean, you've been on the air since 7:30 this morning. I would imagine that's been a big part of your fan base checking in about this pitching with Suarez and Rodriguez and Holland and Bumgarner and Stratton, who went today. Is that going to be enough to kind of hold them over while we still wait for Samardzija and possibly Cueto?
Well, I think you only have another couple of weeks, really. It looks like Samardzija, maybe by the end of this homestand, could be pitching, and it looks like he's going to go in a rehab start this week. Cueto, I think, will be in the beginning of July, probably before the All-Star break. So they've done it so far. They've done it with a good bullpen, and if you can get Stratton to give you the 6 or 7 innings like he's doing, Holland's pitching a little bit better, Bumgarner's on his way back. There's enough to hold it until we find out if Cueto and Samardzija are for real. I think there's enough.
But you've got to be able to score some runs. You can have all the pitching out there, but we've been waiting for these bats to come around. And losing Longoria, that's a big deal. Not a little deal, not no deal. It is a big deal.
Well, he's a power hitter. But believe it or not, they're scoring more runs at home than they did on the road. So they had a tough week on the road in Miami and the first couple of games in L.A., but they've hit the ball better at home. So that's what they're doing. They hit gap to gap at home. McCutchen is finally getting hot now. Posey's gone through a tough spell right now.
Belt obviously back.
Belt
he went
is
yard.
back. Longoria is gone. Sandoval is playing now most of the time at third base. The offense is going to be challenged a little bit. Williamson still hasn't clicked where he was before the injury. So they are being challenged offensively. But ultimately, the offense is not going to be the issue. The issue is going to be the starting pitching.
Over these next, as we said, 20 to 26 games over the next month pre-All-Star break, give me 1 or 2 names that you've got kind of in your mind that at Baseball Marty is really going to be looking at that's going to help make a difference.
Well, I think the bullpen, I think Strickland has got to settle in because I assume they're going to win some of these games at home. And if they're winning games and they're close games, which they generally are at AT&T Park, Strickland is going to have to shoulder that burden of closing the game. So I think that's very important. I think McCutchen is very important because he's got to start hitting the ball out of the park at AT&T Park as well. And he's got to play good defense, and he's a number 3 hitter. The other one is Belt. Belt is huge because Belt was having a career season before the appendectomy. So if I look at hitting, I'm looking at McCutchen, I'm looking at Belt. Crawford's going to settle in a little bit more. He's not going to hit .330 for the year. But I'm looking at those two, and I'm looking at Strickland at the back end of the bullpen. The lefties in the bullpen have been absolutely outstanding. So I think the bullpen will be intact, but you got to give me that 6 innings out of the starting pitching.
You know what name has not come up in this entire segment, and that Hunter Pence. What do they do with him?
Well, he's a 4th outfielder. Everybody knows it. He's not hitting with any power. Right now, it's just he's in a holding pattern, so to speak. Ultimately, they're going to have to deal with Hunter Pence. Austin Slater's hitting the ball well at Sacramento. If they need that spot, Hunter Pence is absolutely vulnerable. That's a big homestand for him to see if he can make something happen with some power. Williamson has got to have a chance. Before he got injured, he was hitting home runs. Pence is not going to take his job away. Williamson's got to play. Pence is the extra guy. He's got to show something on these next couple of weeks, or else I think his job is in jeopardy.
Same as it ever was now. I mean, Pablo Sandoval, the everyday third baseman. I mean, can history repeat itself? Can he Can he get in that groove on a regular basis?
Well, you're asking a lot because he doesn't hit much right-handed, even though he's better. Doesn't cover as much ground. He's a little bit older. But he does hit the ball. But he is a bench guy now. And usually with bench guys, if you play them too much, eventually they get exposed.
So they get a shelf life.
Yeah, I would say you'd like to have Longoria back. I think the Longoria injury is more severe than people realize, losing that bat in the lineup. But Pablo, left-handed, has been very, very good. Hopefully he's going to be able to handle it for a few more weeks.
And the adventure continues. Thanks so much, Marty.
Anytime, Vern.